Yeah.
Whatever seniors consume is how much we spend. Can you imagine? I mean, I love my mom. She's 92. But I'm not going to give her my credit card and say, hey, Mom, go for it. Have fun. But that's what we do to every senior. Here's the card. Go for it.
Not to me.
Okay? But that's what the entitlement programs are. And they have to be changed. Now, just so you know, the Medicare program has been changed by Obamacare. Obamacare puts a cap. Now, I'm sure you will talk to your liberal friends and they'll all go to their grave denying that that's the truth, but that's the truth. In addition to the cap, they put in a mechanism to enforce the cap. Anybody know what it's called?
IRS. IRS.
Okay. I'll stop asking you questions if you're not going to say I know you guys are frustrated. Not a lot of people come and talk to you as conservatives from Washington.
Yeah. Got that right.
The Independent Payment Advisory Board.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? Independent Payment Advisory Board. Look it up. Understand what it is when you talk to your crazy friends out here in California. What it does, it's a 15-member independent commission that has no oversight by Congress or the President.
Oh, God.
That can set forth reimbursements for doctors and hospitals to keep Medicare under that cap. That's all they can do. And Congress can vote up or down on it. What will happen when we say to doctors and hospitals, we're going to pay you less and less and less and less to cover more and more people? They simply will do what they're doing already, right? What they do with Medi-Cal. They don't take any more patients. And therefore you wait. The reason we can afford, ultimately, Obamacare, or would be able to afford it, is because simply people will die waiting and not get care. It's called rationing. It happens in every socialist country in the world. And it will happen here. One candidate on the stage tomorrow night will have had experience in successfully ending a federal entitlement. Anybody want to guess who that person is? Very good.
Now, which one is it?
In 1994, I was on the House Ways and Means Committee, and I wrote the Welfare Reform Act of 1994, which was ended up in the contract with America. And when I got elected to the Senate in '94, I managed the bill on the floor of the Senate, going toe-to-toe with Daniel Patrick Moynihan and Ted Kennedy. And we went to the American people and talked to them about a story. See, it's real important, if you want to lead this country, to be a good teacher, a good teller of stories, providing a vision to America. So I started out my speech about telling you who America is and what we are. Ronald Reagan had great policies. Most conservatives who run for office have great policies. The gift of the president and of good leaders in Congress is the ability to communicate a vision that people will rally behind. I know there's folks that are running for president right now who say, oh, well, I'm a CEO and I know how to fix things. Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States is not a CEO. Not even close. You try to tell any member of Congress, I'm the president, you do what I tell you. Yeah, good luck. Good luck telling the American people, this is what I want to do and you will follow me. It's not how it works, folks. These folks who think they can be CEO and just run the country and fix the problem. Reagan wasn't a CEO, he was a leader. He was a communicator. And by the way, not only do we need a leader to lead this country once they're elected, we need a communicator to get elected. Look at ever since the television became the dominant media, which is in the mid-1970s, every single presidential election has been won by the better communicator. Every single one. That's not to say that they were good communicators. George Bush was not a good communicator, but he was a hell of a lot better than Al Gore and John Kerry.
Yes.
That's what we have to remember as we elect and nominate the next person for president. we communicated a vision about welfare being a program that caused dependency and destroyed families and people. And Americans understood it to be true. And so they forced President Clinton, who didn't want to sign this bill, 20 Democrats to join us in ending a federal entitlement. Aid to families with dependent children, gone. The left went crazy. You're two senators from California. I always remember Barbara Boxer coming with pictures of people in bread lines and almost in tears. That part I wasn't upset about. And as if people in poverty were disabled. That poverty was a disability that they couldn't overcome. Well, we passed it, and guess what happened? We cut the welfare rolls in half across America. Employment went up among those on welfare. Poverty rates went down. The poverty rate among African American children, which was always the worst measure in poverty, went to its lowest level ever 4 years after welfare reform passed. And today the welfare rolls are still substantially lower than they were even in 1996, and we're in the third year of a recession. It made all the difference. We can do that with Medicaid. We can do that with food stamps. Food stamps, the highest level ever. Why? Because President Obama is going out and pushing the states to sign people up to food stamps and Medicaid. Why?
Buying votes. Buying votes.
So you have someone who's been able to do things on the economy. On the moral cultural issues, there's nobody who's been out front more. On the issue of life, I authored the Partial Birth Abortion Ban Act and fought it, and again, got bipartisan support to pass it. The Born Alive Infant Protection Act, the Unborn Victims of Violence Act, every major pro-life bill, I was either the author or the floor leader or both. When it comes to the family, I wrote a book in response to Hillary Clinton's book. Her book was called It Takes a Village.
Yeah.
Mine was called It Takes a Family. And I wrote a book on the importance of marriage and the family.
Yes.
And went out and fought those battles. I know you have fought those battles here in California, but I was fighting them even before you fought them in California. We didn't always win, but we never backed down from the fight. Ladies and gentlemen, I have been there on moral cultural issues, I've been there on economic issues, and on national security issues. I've served 8 years on the Armed Services Committee, helped transform the Defense Department from a big, heavy force focused on a land war in Europe to a force that was more agile and mobile to respond to what we called asymmetric threats, which we now call terrorism, prior to 9/11. I was the author of 2 major pieces of legislation dealing with the state of Israel. One called the Syrian Accountability Act, which George Bush and Colin Powell opposed to try to get Syria out of Lebanon with sanctions. He opposed it until I kept pounding away at it. And eventually he agreed and we signed it. And within a month after we signed that bill, Syria was out of Lebanon.